You know who made money on Saturday night? You know who was money on Saturday night? You know who got his first bonus as a member of the UFC? He's been in the UFC for like 15 years. He finally got a bonus. Raging freaking Al Iaquinta, who is joining us via the magic of Skype with his infamous purple robe. I think it's purple. I'm a little colorblind. There he is. Is it purple or blue?
It's blue.
It's blue. My bad. Al, can you see me?
I can see you. This is awesome.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
Never doubted it for a second, Ariel. We got this going. This is great.
We're back, baby. Al, congratulations. What are you more excited about, the win or the bonus?
Oh, man. They're both pretty exciting stuff, isn't it? They're both pretty exciting. I can't. Obviously, the win's the most important thing, and then the icing on the cake is that bonus right there. It's long overdue and earned and everything. So I'm just I'm happy.
First one, right?
I won on the Ultimate Fighter season. I won the bonuses for like the fight of the season and the knockout of the season. But since then, that was 5-6 long years ago, and it was with my first UFC fight where I won a bonus. Yeah.
Right. What was your reaction when you found out?
Someone said to me, they go, it was one of the UFC employees with PR. They said, "Oh, I was walking out and kind of leaving," and they said, "Al, you won a bonus." And I turned around and I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Oh, wait, never mind."
What?
And I was like, "What? Are you kidding me?" So I guess she saw it, and then she realized that that was like inside info, and she wasn't supposed to release it yet.
Oh, okay.
She said it because she saw me real quick, and then she got through the rest of the message, and she was like, "Oh, never mind." And I was like, "You got to be, what's going on here?" But then they told me like a couple seconds, like immediately after that, they said that it was true, and I was like, "Wow, that's good stuff. It's a long time coming."
If she was wrong and she got false info and she told you that you got a bonus and you didn't, God help the hotel rooms in Milwaukee, right? I mean, it would have just been
nuts. Nuts.
Al, what a performance, man. Wow. Let's start from the beginning here. I feel like, sometimes your training camps, they've been a little rocky. There's been drama. This one, it was relatively drama-free. You went in there. You were a pro. You were wearing the suit all fight week. It just, I don't know, something seemed different about this one. Like you were in a good spot mentally, physically. It just felt like everything was coming together for you. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. It was almost scary to where things seemed like, it seemed not eerie, but it just seemed like, when things go too good,
yeah,
is usually the ending is just a big up. So the training camp went good, little bumps and bruises along the way, but nothing that we hadn't worked through way worse in the past. And I'm feeling good going into fight week. My weight cut's never really an issue. I think everyone else struggles a lot more than I do with the weight cut, and this one was no different. This was probably my easiest cut. I woke up in the morning and I cut like 3 pounds. I was eating filet mignon and asparagus the night before, so I was weight cut was nothing, and I was just mentally, and I was in a great spot. I had the best crew out there with me. I had so many of my friends and teammates and people from the gym that have helped me so much along the way. I had everyone there for me. My family came out. It was good.
And, it seemed to me, and you mentioned this a lot after the fight, but the same old Al comment really lit a fire under you. That really seemed to bother you. Why?
I don't know. That really because I think he just said that. I don't know. Maybe he really thinks it. I don't really know what, like he's all over the place mentally. I think if he was half, the mentality is such a huge part of this game, and it's the hardest part to correct. You can learn any technique, you can learn anything, you can learn so much, but if you can't get your mind right, and so many people, it battles them their whole career. They could be champion, and they could physically. There's no reason Kevin Lee isn't the best in the world, but I knew going in that mentality wise, he's not there with me. I don't think he ever will be. I think there's a huge part of the lightweight roster that's just never going to catch up to me on that side of things. So when he said same old Al, it was almost like he was trying to. It was like such a weak attempt at getting in my head, and I just really just caught the ball and threw it right back at his face, and it was like throughout the fight. Every time, right before the 5th round, I looked across at him. He was sitting, his mind shined right through his face. I could look at his face and I could see. I said, "Oh, there it is, same old Kevin Lee." I see it right in your face. I saw it 4 years ago. I see it again right now. And I was standing the whole time, just like I stood the 4 years ago. I never sat in between rounds. I never made a face in the corner. I listened to every single word that my coaches had to say, and I did everything they told me to. I looked across at him and I was just like, same Al, and I could tell it just deflated him. I was winning that round. There was not a question in my mind. He had one takedown attempt, and I knew that if he didn't get that takedown attempt, he was going to get up a broken man. And if he did get that takedown attempt, eventually I was going to get up, and he was going to be. It was just. I saw that fight happening a million times in my head. It was the same exact fight that happened 4 years ago. If you watch the fight, it was the same fight. I really picked him apart on the feet. Did he land some stuff? Yes. Did he surprise me with any punches he threw? No, I've seen it all before. He's good. He's probably one of the strongest people I've ever grappled with. I'll give it that. I mean, that guy's freaking strong. But I knew that the strength wears on him. He grabs my leg and he holds me down, and the more he knows he's got to kill me to finish me, and he's not doing that. So he's not really putting all of his energy into it, but he's putting a lot of energy into it. That drains him. So we get back up on the feet, and that energy bar just goes down, and I knew that was going to be the case. It really is. It's just the same first fight all over again. He took my back. He took me down. Took my back. This time when he was, the same old Kevin Lee, really, he switched southpaw. That's different. I thought, after the first fight, you get me in a body triangle, you do threw a couple punches. He got closer I thought he was going to have some like phantom maneuver from my back that was like checkmate, game over. The new Kevin Lee has like some crazy move that he does from the back because he knew he was going to get me. It was like the same shit. I was very surprised. I work with guys at Sarah's. Guys that they have my back like that, and I'm like counting down the seconds before their hands wrapped around my neck, and I'm squealing like a pig. Freaking. That was nothing. That was a cakewalk. I got out of one of them. These are guys that I'm going with that you're not getting out. These are guys that are doing jiu-jitsu 24/7 that are competing. Ranked in the world. This is so I knew that I was a totally different person, but I like that same Al.
Yeah,
it is. It's the same Al. That's it.
And for you, that's a positive. In the end, though, you would say that it's the same Kevin Lee, and that's not exactly positive.
Yeah, I'd say it's he's upgraded on his wardrobe, if you want to call it that. He's learned a bunch of new maneuvers. He's gotten bigger. He's gotten faster. He's gotten stronger. But at the end of the day, it's just you're still the same person. There's some things that you can't upgrade on.
Did you get the feeling? I mean, I've also heard you mention the wardrobe a couple times, and he came into the arena with that. I think it was like a fur coat or something, and the dancing to the cage. Did you get the feeling that he was viewing you as a stepping stone because he kept talking about Khabib and some of the big fights at 155 that he was looking past you?
I don't really know what goes on through his head. I think at some points he might be like back and forth. At some points I think he's like focused in. Some points he's back to this. I don't know if he's got a manager that's like making him do this stuff or like kind of like bringing it out of him more or like supporting it or something. I don't know if that's really him or I don't know. I think it's very, very hard to put so much energy into the other side of things, especially if it's not really you. If you're like actually having to work at, these kind of things, there's a lot of energy to, learn dance moves, to do the walk to the cage. You're like, get focused, bro. Get with it. That's what I was like looking at him. I'm walking around. I'm thinking freaking in my head before, as he's walking out, I'm thinking, grab the leg, spinning elbow, jab to the body, look low, jab high, overhand. He's throwing, I'm slipping, I'm ripping. Like, that's what's going through my head. And then I look over this guy's freaking music video on the way to the cage. I go, there's no fucking way I'm losing to this guy. It's impossible. There's no way that his mind is in the right spot. He might have, like, I don't know. Does he practice that in the extreme couture, in the whatever gym, in the gym that he's training at? Because I practice, like, I've done that a million times. I warm up, I do my warm up, I get in the the cage, the octagon, and I move around. I visualize the fight. My opponent comes in. Ray says, "You guys ready? We're ready." Boom, sparring starts. Like, we've done it. It's nothing was different. It was the same thing. It was fun. It was in front of millions of people. It was on Fox. It was the last Fox card, and it's something I've done a million times in Ray Longo's gym.
I love the walkout song. Why'd you pick that one? The Sopranos theme song?
Yeah. I used to walk out to that song when
really?
I was not in the main event.
When? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was I forget which fight, but it was back a little while ago.
Why'd you bring it back?
I don't know, it just felt like the right time. I felt like, I just felt like a sniper going in there this time. I was kind of quiet, nothing, just staying under the radar, nothing crazy. Go in there and just shut this guy up for twice, really. And I left there in a suit. I left there looking good.
Yes.
He walked in his freaking whatever the hell that was. And I walked in there with a black hoodie, a black jacket, black pants, and shoes on, and I left there looking good. He came in looking good. I wonder how I want to see the wardrobe on the way out. You can't wear that on the way out after that. You can't wear that. How was he wearing that on the way out?
I don't know. I didn't see.
How? You can't do that. It's not, So that's the difference. It's a lot different.
It has to feel good that now for sure, like, you don't have to answer any questions about this guy. You don't have to entertain the idea of fighting this guy. Like, you put an exclamation mark. Like, if anyone thought, some people were saying it was a draw the first time. Stupid people were saying it was a draw the first time you fought. I mean, total numbskulls. That's it. This guy's done. Like, you have rid yourself of Kevin Lee forever.
I mean, I never say never, but he's gonna have to win a lot of fights, and I just think I got his number. I got his number. I'm like, my mind is just so much. On my worst day, I feel like I can win a fight against Kevin Lee, and I think I made some mistakes in there. I still have a lot of things to work on. So I think it was my best day? No. I didn't make it look. There was a lot of things that I could have done to make it a lot easier on myself, but in the grand scheme of things, I think that happens. 9 out of 10 times it's that kind of fight.
You know what was my big takeaway from that fight? Iaquinta is maybe the most underrated fighter in this game. We don't get to see you often fight twice in a year, and now in 2 main events, 5-round fights. Of course, we know what you did, against Khabib on a day's notice. This performance, and I feel like for the first time, people are starting to finally give you your due. The year ends 1-1 for you, but in a weird way, the Khabib fight was almost like a moral victory. I know that doesn't really mean much, but I don't know. I feel like something has changed in the way people view you, and you're still underrated, and you were very underrated going into this fight. But, like, man, Iaquinta is tough. It is hard to put this guy away, and it just feels like this year in particular, you're starting to, and after this performance, you're starting to finally get that respect as one of the truly elite fighters at 155. Do you feel that same way?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. I think my teammates and my coaches have seen it. been around. I've sparred with everybody there is to spar with. The inner circle knows what's up. People know that I'm no. Yeah, there's I might not be the flashiest guy. I might not, you know, I might not have the outfits or whatever. I dress nice now.
Yeah, you
Got,
do. Suits are
got
nice.
it's I'm not flashy. I'm not trying to be somebody. I'm just being myself, and I think that the more I do that, the more people are starting to realize it's just performances like that. It's been a while. I've that whole the last up even right before the Diego Sanchez fight. That was like 2 years where I was just like fed up with everything, and that was just a nightmare. So you didn't see much in that fight. You didn't see much in the years leading up to the Khabib fight. And in the Khabib fight, I would say that's not a good gauge on what I can do. Obviously, you can see the heart that I have. That was evident in that fight. But the technique-wise, I showed a lot more in this fight. And I think the more, there's a guy that's fought a couple fights in like 4 years, really, 3 years. So
Yeah.
the more you see me, the more people are going to see what I'm really made of. I think I grown tremendously even from the Khabib fight. I think there was a lot of stuff that I did. Maybe Kevin Lee should watch the fight. It was funny, he said that he didn't watch the fight. You asked him if he watched the fight. He goes, "No, I didn't watch it, but I did watch the first round." So he watched the first round and then he shut it off. Why didn't you watch the rest of the fight? Because maybe if he would have watched the rest of the fight, he would have seen all the things that I've improved on, switching stances mid combination that landed on him. He didn't realize that when we were fighting. There was so many things that I did in that fight that I've been working on, and there's still so many things. I left the cage that night and I was like, damn, I meant to do the side kick. I meant to do this other kick. I meant to do so many things that I didn't do that I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to get back in there because I got so much stuff that you still haven't seen, and little things that make big differences in fights, not the kind of shit Kevin Lee talks about.
And am I wrong? Your relationship with the UFC brass is in a pretty good spot. I saw you thanking Sean Shelby and Hunter Campbell in particular. I feel like you have a good relationship with them. Like, does it feel like you're relatively drama-free these days?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's always stuff to be worked on, and I think I'm just going about things a lot better, different. I'm trying things differently.
All right.
We'll see how this method works.
Okay.
So, I'm going about things a little differently, and it's been working out so far. Hunter and Sean think I'm freaking bipolar at this point because I'll be 1 second I'll be hot, and the next second I'll be cold, and I'll be out of my mind texting them craziness, and then the next day they're my best friends. But I think that's just because I really tell them what I'm thinking at the moment, and I'm not like, I don't know. I just vent to them a little bit. But I always said to them, I said, guys, I just want to thank you one time after that. I don't want to be the guy screaming that day, I hate the UFC, I hate this and I hate that. I want to be the guy that there's nothing more I want to do than be the guy, win the fight, and thank you for everything. But you got to give me a reason to thank you. You got to give me, let's negotiate a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think for this fight, they really got behind me. They put me in on a platform that was the biggest I've been yet against an opponent that was tough as nails. I mean, a lot of guys would be like, I don't want the tough opponent, but that's what I wanted. I wanted the toughest opponent at on the biggest stage, the last show on Fox, main event. Everything. We worked together, and I had a good. Everything was good leading up to this fight. So I won the fight, and I did it as, man of my word. I thank them because leading up to this fight, they definitely they helped me out a lot.
And then like a minute after the win, here's Justin Gaethje going on Twitter, calling you all kinds of names. He's fired up. He wants a piece of you. What do you make of this?
Oh God. Give me a break with Justin Gaethje. I mean, that's a good fight, but I don't know. I think a win over Kevin Lee might put me up there.
Oh, what
I
is up
think
there?
I don't know. There's four guys ranked ahead that were ranked ahead of him. You know, Khabib, Conor, Tony, and Dustin. I think that mix. I think one of those guys will probably be my next fight. I think that's more of what I've been seeing on Twitter, more what people want to see. What I think, I think those are the fights that Tony and Khabib are kind of matched up.
Yeah.
That should probably be the next one, but you don't know what's going to happen with the suspensions,
Yeah.
all this nonsense. Hopefully, Khabib just gets a slap on the wrist. They fight and get it out of the way. Khabib goes on his holidays, so he, I don't know the scheduling with that. It messes up his schedule a little bit. So Khabib's kind of like you don't know exactly where that's at. So maybe Tony Ferguson could be the possibility. They also have a track record of not fighting. They can make weight. They can get on they on the same night when they're not fighting each other, but when they are fighting each other, it seems things don't work out. So who knows? There's just so many variables of things that can happen. And then McGregor versus Dustin. I mean, it's a rematch. Is that really the fight that
No.
everyone wants to see?
No.
I mean, he already knocked him out. He knocked him out. He called him the P-head and knocked him out in the first round. You want to see that again, or you want to see true Long Island heart and
I like it.
there,
I liked it. When you got on the mic, I thought it was going to be like that Diaz call. You started to get ramped up, but then you dialed it back just a little bit. But you went for the gusto. You called out Conor. I liked it.
Well, he shit on me a little bit in the lead up to the Khabib fight, saying, "Oh, you just beat a real estate agent," and that was like, dude, shut the up. He's like gotten gifted a lot of like this would be really like the guy that he's had, he has done what he's supposed to be doing when but he's been given the best opponents his entire UFC career. He's been given the most money. He's been given everything. He got knee surgery. They freaking flew him out to LA. They put him in a hotel. He had GSP come visit him. He had every advantage to do everything. He's got all the money in the world. Me, on the other hand, I freaking fought and scrapped for everything. He got on the mic. He goes, "Dana, bonus 60 G's, baby." And here you go, Conor. Me, I had to freaking curse out the boss. I freaking cursed out the boss of the UFC, and I still got a bonus. How about that? Ask for a knee surgery. They say no. They told me I couldn't get the knee surgery I wanted. I did all the research. I did everything. They told me the hospital I wanted to go was too expensive. Now that hospital is partners with the UFC. Now it was like I couldn't believe, So I'm the guy that's fought the UFC and still made it. Conor McGregor was freaking like kissing. He was like buddy all the way up. It was like freaking, oh yeah, give me this opponent. This is who did he fight the top 10 in the lightweight division is stacked, and he went right to the top and fought a guy that was probably his best stylistic matchup. You see what happens when he goes there against Khabib. Khabib made him look like an infant. He fought tough, he did, but he could practice his wrestling all day long. He could spend all his money and bring out the best wrestlers in the world. But I spent freaking 2 summers when I was in high school at J. Robinson 28-day intensive camp in Minnesota. I'm sure when Conor McGregor was that age, he was freaking, he was probably on his summers hanging out with his friend. Who knows what he was doing, but he was not in freaking the trenches with the guys that wanted to become the best in freaking Minnesota. I live on Long Island. In freaking the summer in July, I'm going to Minnesota to wrestle. Are you kidding me? There's no way that this guy has it. Kevin Lee didn't have it, and this guy doesn't have it. When it gets tough, They just mentally, it's not. They check out. They check out. And I'm not. It's the same thing. It's the pomp and circumstance, freaking outfits, all that. Shit. Oh, good for you. It's not gonna. It's not make. It doesn't make one difference. I'm a different breed in there. They know they're gonna have to kill me. And when you get in there, they feel different. Masvidal felt it. Everyone's like, "Oh, Masvidal didn't look the best. He didn't look the best against Al." Khabib was exposed against Al. You know, his boxing's not that good. He's amateurish in his defense, and then he goes down, knocks Conor McGregor down, and then same thing with you know, Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee makes. He looks like an animal. You know what I mean? He is he's destroyed, but he felt something different in there. I was his daddy for 25 minutes. He knew that there was no way he was winning that fight. The second that fight started, he changed, totally changed.
God bless you, Al.
Let's go, Ariel. Come on.
What more can you say? Al Iaquinta, everyone. What a win. And where can I sign up for the Conor fight? I mean, did you see the way he laid that out? Where can I sign up for it? That was incredible.